back with a new video. Bet you didn't expect a new video this quickly because based on my last trends, I usually don't upload this fast. Came across something really interesting on Reddit. I was on the same thread that I was earlier for my last video, / AskReddit. Brackets, serious. Late night hikers, what is the creepiest thing you've seen while hiking? There's a lot of creepy things I've seen when hiking. Well, not hiking particularly, but like being outdoors. I remember my friends and I went backcountry camping in Redwood National Park, and at night, something was ruffling through our tent. There was no wind, no abnormal weather patterns or anything like that, but something was brushing against us. I'm not sure what that was till this day, but the next morning, like a lot of our stuff was kind of just like rustled all over the place. Firewood was like knocked down, really unnerving because we didn't know what was going on. And I remember my friend Manny and I.
Your shirt's intact, bro? Your belt is gone? Bro, where the fuck is your belt?
What?
Oh, fuck, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Like we were just sitting like this. We looked at each other, like, bro, what the fuck is that? Bro, don't move. We were so scared. But I thought this was really interesting, so I'm copying and pasting this over from an older AskReddit post which asked a similar question. I used to often spend my summers bouldering with my friends by a relatively large forest that was about an hour and a half away from where I used to live. We used to spend some of the nights camping out there just to save some travel costs and time. Anyway, I think this was roughly like the third or fourth time we were out there camping. My friend had left all her climbing gear and her rucksack just outside her tent. We definitely think she did anyway. The next morning we found her boots, a few clothes, and her chalk powder had disappeared. We figured that it could have been completely feasible that she misplaced it. Although we were quite sure that they were right next to her tent, we didn't really want to believe that they were stolen. Anyway, we didn't read too much into this and just stupidly said to ourselves that perhaps she had left it by the boulders and some animal took an interest to it. I know it sounds stupid, but it was very reasonable to us at the time. Anyway, fast forward a year, we're at the same spot as usual, sitting by the tents and chilling after having some food. Mind you, it's pitch black out, and the only camp area is lit by the fire. I go somewhere a bit out of sight for a slash, and what do I see? A dude in a full-on ghillie suit, lay on his stomach looking right towards our campsite. I kind of stood there frozen as this dude clocks that I've seen him, and he just bolted out of there. I don't know whether the event prior was related to the ghillie guy, but this definitely has stuck to all of us, and we haven't been back there since, which is a damn shame. Okay, that is pretty scary. Imagine just coming out and just seeing a guy just laying down. Oh crap, jumps out of a ghillie suit and just darts out of there. That is pretty scary. What are other people saying to this? Seems like a very good way to get yourself shot. Yeah, that's true. You might imagine seeing a ghillie suit guy just chilling sniper-like. If I saw that, that would be fucking crazy. This is another one. I go out for walks very late at night. Fairly often, so I've seen a few things. The creepiest, though, happened about 2 months ago. I left the house at around 1:30 a.m. and it started off as a normal walk. I wandered around the town till about 2 a.m. when I decided to go home. I was walking back the route I came when I noticed a black van meander down the street. Didn't really pay much attention to it, though, at first. I did pay attention, though, when I saw it slowly drive by me for a second time. I wasn't entirely sure it was the same van, though, so I just continued walking. But this time I kept an eye out. And lo and fucking behold, about 10 minutes later, the same damn black van came down the street again. This time I knew for sure because it didn't have license plates. Now I was fairly scared, so I picked up my pace a little bit. When the van came around again this time, it stopped in the middle of the road, a few houses in front of me. I stopped, turned around, and booked it back in the other direction. I made a few turns onto different roads, and then ran right into someone's yard. I waited behind their fence, and the same fucking van came down the street. I assumed that when they couldn't find me, they finally decided to fuck off. But I waited in that yard for about 20 minutes before I ran back to my house and practically threw myself through the bedroom window. That sounds like a very scary kidnapping story. Oh, this person said what I just said. Yeah, almost getting kidnapped is scarier than going nose to nose with a bear. Yeah, in situations like this when you think you're just like safe in the neighborhood and you start noticing this van, it's quite terrifying. I'm trying to think if I've had situations similar to this where I know I have, I just can't pinpoint the stories right now. You gotta be careful out there, it's sketch. People are very sketch and a lot of people in the world are pretty sketch. So, not on a trail but walking my dog late at night. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, my dog rang her bell and I begrudgingly got up to take her outside. When she wants to pee in the middle of the night, I don't take her that far, just into our side yard. I took a flashlight with me in case she decided to go poop so I could pick it up. I'm standing there waiting for her to do her thing. She's doing the doggy walk in a circle thing. Now all of a sudden the dog gets spooked and whips around. Out of the corner of my eye I see this chick, just standing there. I didn't see her walk up. I didn't hear her walk up. I just see her standing there, super still. Based on her position, she had to have come from between my house and my neighbor's house, which is odd because behind our houses back up to a green belt. It's probably about 40 degrees outside, and this lady, about 20, is in super short shorts and a t-shirt. I looked at her, told her she scared me. She mumbled something like, "Nice night, what are you up to?" Standing there holding a leash with my dog, I said, "I'm walking my dog." And she said, Cool. Do you know how to get into my house? I locked myself out, pointing to my neighbor's house. Now I'm a good American. I know my neighbors, and this wasn't my neighbor, who is a single 30-year-old female. She hangs out with my wife, and I know her really well. So I asked her, "That house?" Pointing directly at the neighbor's house. She nodded. I said, "You don't live there." "I know who lives there." She just scoffed and wandered her way into my backyard. I followed her and said, "What the hell are you doing?" She then took off running, scaled my fence, which, item of note, it isn't an easy fence to scale. It's a deer fence. It is a see-through fence that goes up 3 feet with the cattle gate. Then on top of the fence is a stainless steel wire that runs horizontally. It is that type of thing that, if you weren't expecting it, you'd easily trip over, as it is extremely hard to see, not very common. Anyway, she scales the fence and ran away into the green belt. I always had my pocket knife on me and was fortunate enough to have my unfortunately useless dog. So I looked around my house, neighbor's house for other people, shined my light in the green belt, and nothing. I have no idea how she wound up back there, what she was doing, what she intended to do, but she scared the ever-living shit out of me. This is actually really funny. One person said, "She was able to scale your fence so easily because this wasn't the first time she's been in your backyard." So I was thinking too, she knew where it was from experience. Yeah, that's fucking scary. Back in the day when I played Slender Man, that was fucking scary. I would jump out of my seat and start screaming like crazy. I'm late to the party, but years ago, some friends and I were going to have a campfire at a late at night with copious amounts of alcohol. When we got there, we had to drive around a barricade, and one of the cars got stuck in the mud. While trying to get it unstuck, I looked around and made a joke about how we were definitely in the beginning of a horror movie. We all laugh about it. We get the car out and continue to get all set up. Fire's going, music is playing, drinks are flowing, we're having a great time. All of a sudden, some random fucking guy comes walking out of the woods with a beer. I get nervous. Everyone tells me I'm being paranoid since I watched a lot of scary movies. They invite him to join us. He ends up sitting next to me, but a few feet away. I go to grab another beer from the cooler, see the hatchet that someone brought, and I decide I'm going to hold on to it. I sit back down, and this random guy makes some comment about how he can see my jugular, and he wants to bite it. I'm ready to piece the fuck out, but of course I didn't drive. A little while later, he makes a comment about he should have brought his own chainsaw. Okay. I'm completely alone and thinking this is going to end badly. I move across the fire and move and closer to the cooler and one of my friends. I set the hatchet next to me, try to ignore the guy and enjoy my night. Fast forward a bit, the guy's making more weird comments, so I reach for the hatchet. It's gone. I start glancing around, discreetly at first, when the guy smiles at me from across the fire and goes, "Looking for this?" Holds up the hatchet. I said, "Fuck all this, I'm leaving." It managed to get one of my friends to leave. The next day, everyone said that nothing more happened, but as someone who's seen a lot of movies, I wasn't taking any chances. I'm white, but I'm not laugh off a crazy guy with a hatchet white. What the hell? I remember there was a story, not as scary as these posts, but a couple of friends of mine, we went up to Utah. We rented out this little tiny home. It was kind of a ways away from a store or any small city, so we were driving a good 30 minutes out in the middle of nowhere. We kind of drove into this, there was no street names, there were anything, but the GPS told us to go to this certain area, and we made this turn where there was a road, and it was pitch black, there's no lights or anything, just the headlights from our car. We're driving, we're pretty freaked out, we don't know what the hell's going on. We're driving for 10, 15 minutes, just dirt. We're just driving through dirt. It's paved dirt, but it's just you can still feel the bumps, and the road is not even. We make this turn, and there's this big house with a fucking sniper rifle, this big, hanging in front of the gate. 2 logs that are like this, and a sniper rifle hanging down from from another log on top. And we were just okay, where the fuck are we going? Because we were supposed to go to this little tiny house, and we couldn't find any tiny homes. We didn't go through that gate. We turned to the right into this random fence. There's barbed wire. We kind of just drove into it, and lo and behold, there was a tiny house. But you couldn't see anything. We couldn't see anything. The power was out. We didn't know how to turn on the power. There were no instructions. So we kind of just like winged everything in the light of the night. I think it was like 4 a.m. It was pretty scary, but not as scary as these stories, but it was pretty scary. Effectively creeped out from all this that I've read. I kind of read some more by myself as I was reading these out loud. That's the end of the video. If you guys like this video, please comment down below. It really helps me pay the bills. Help pays my college tuition loans too.